Hey guys, it's Phyrra, and today I've got another rant and rave video for you. First up, I have to absolutely rave about a YouTuber I found. Her name is Lange. She is amazing. She's a godsend. If you have hooded eyes like I do, you need to watch her tutorials because they are all so fucking helpful. I mean, seriously, they're life-changing. Why couldn't I have found them years ago? Because she is so good at explaining the hows and whys of dealing with hooded eyes and like the bag and like making it recede, and I don't know, like her tutorials are really easy to follow. So I watched pretty much all of her hooded eye videos over the weekend, and I've been practicing all of her tips. I think she's amazing. You please need to go check her out. I will put a link in the description box below. I will put a link in the description box below so you can find her. And she's also now on my featured YouTubers list if you go to my main YouTube page. I absolutely hate it when companies harass bloggers for negative reviews. Not gonna lie, fear of being harassed has kept me from posting some negative reviews. Sometimes I would rather not say anything at all than have to worry about a brand or their followers glitter mobbing me. This is normally a problem with smaller brands. I have been glitter mobbed and harassed before. It's been horrible. The reason I'm bringing this up is because recently there is a company, Gerard Cosmetics, who I have not purchased from, I have no plans to purchase from, and I have not reviewed them as far as I'm aware. I don't remember having anything to do with them. But they are in the limelight right now because they called a blogger who reviewed their products ugly. And this was basically brought to light because another YouTuber named MannyMua, he made a Snapchat and shared the Snapchat of the owner of Gerard Cosmetics and him making fun of this YouTuber and calling her ugly, which was completely inappropriate. I looked at this YouTuber's videos. I personally feel like she says a lot of things just to get a rise out of people, and I don't personally like that, but that's her thing. And she's a blogger. But for a company owner to sit there and call a customer ugly and spread it on social media, I feel like that's completely inappropriate. I feel like, you know, if Manny and Jen, the owner of Gerard Cosmetics, wanted to say that, they should have not made it public on social media. They should not have spread it and mocked that person because that's just wrong. If they wanted to try to fix the issue of the negative review, the owner of Gerard Cosmetics should have contacted the blogger privately and said, you know, give me your feedback, or she should have just ignored her. One of those two options, instead to draw somebody else, well, for somebody else to basically make it an issue by making a Snapchat of it and then being all like, oh, well, you know, they said these horrible things. No. As a company owner, you need to be professional whenever you are presenting yourself to the public, and that was just not professional. Like I've mentioned, I have been harassed for negative reviews, for less than stellar reviews. I've had a company send me a cease and desist and threaten to sue me. I've received tons of nasty emails and comments for negative reviews and for just having a different opinion. It's really crazy, and it used to really bother me. Like, it would upset me to the point of tears. I would cry. I'd be like, I don't understand why people are so fucking horrible. And then I realized one day I get more visitors monthly on my blog than the local Tampa Raymond James Stadium can hold. So yeah, there, you know, are what, like 1,000 people who hate me and who harass me, but I just block, delete, ignore. There are a small percentage of the people out there. The vast majority of people that know about me like me, so I just don't care. And it took me a long time to get to this point. Lots and lots of tears, lots of harassment, lots of just putting up with horrible shit. And I think anyone who's on YouTube probably will get some hate and get harassed no matter what, because you'll piss somebody off, or somebody would feel like it's their duty just to make your life miserable. Just remind yourself that it's a small percentage of the people out there, so who the fuck cares? Who are they anyway? But back to Gerard Cosmetics. I really feel that if you are a business owner, you should not call your customers ugly under no circumstances. If you have a problem with a review, go talk to that person privately rather than making it a public issue. And if you're a public figure like Manny, you know, I feel like you just should have known better. In situations like that, what I personally think people should do is apologize for hurting the other people's feelings and move on. It really bugs me to see somebody apologize and really they're not sorry for what they did. They're not sorry that they hurt you. They're just sorry they got caught. Now I noticed on Reddit, because I hang out on Reddit on the makeup forums, like there's a bunch of makeup forums that I go to, that there's a lot of people who are really soured on beauty reviews, and I want to point out something to you. If you want to see more people do negative or neutral reviews in addition to all the positive reviews, leave comments on the negative or neutral reviews, because a lot of times people stop doing things that don't get comments, that don't get traffic. And that's just the way it is. I personally feel like I get far less comments on my neutral or negative reviews than I do on my positive reviews. I always do my best to be professional with my reviews, to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like. If a product absolutely does not work for me, I try to look for who it might work for, or I try to find like some positive traits to talk about. I recently upset a smaller brand when I gave a review of their products because the products just didn't work for me. And I said, you know, they just don't work for me. They might work for this other person. And I like the packaging. And that's pretty much all I said for the review. And it really upset the PR person, and they're not talking to me now. But I wanted to give an honest review, and it was a press sample. And so, you know, I did the best I could. I tried to cover all of my bases. But even then, I still piss people off. I try to buy as many products as I can in addition to accepting press samples so that I can show you a wider variety of products and talk about them. And for some brands like Urban Decay, you know that I love that brand. I am biased towards that brand. But I will tell you, the awesome thing about Urban Decay is that they want to get real customer feedback. So when I give them feedback on the loose glitters and how I didn't like them and didn't feel like they should be used on the eyes, they listened. They said, you know, okay, like they wanted to hear that. They did not just be, they weren't just like, we never want to work with you again because you didn't like all of our products. So some brands out there, I think really big brands who have PR people really get like what feedback is. They really understand constructive criticism. I feel like you run into problems with smaller brands, and that's when you end up dealing with things like, you know, like I said, glitter mobbing, which is where they send all of their minions to harass you, sometimes for months or years, just because you didn't like something. I also wanted to say, don't believe everything you hear on the internet, because just because your friend's best friend's husband or whatever said it's true, it may not be true. So unless you hear it yourself, like that Snapchat, don't believe it. Don't believe that every company owner out there is saying horrible things about their customers, because they're probably not. They're probably being very professional. And you know what? For the Gerard Cosmetics, maybe they just had a really bad day, and that's why they were, you know, really upset, and that's why this got all out in the public. But don't feel like everyone out there is going to be saying horrible things, because they're not. The majority of people are not assholes. At least that's my hope. That's me looking at the glass, being half full, being optimistic. Okay, moving on. I have to rave because recently I bought a Fitbit Charge HR. Like Ray and I both bought them, and I of course bought the purple one. And I love this thing. I'm still learning how to use it. I really like the web interface. I like the phone app. What I love the most about it so far is that it's really good at measuring my heart rate. So whenever I'm working out, and I do intervals either on an arc machine or on a rowing machine, and I've been doing the rowing machine all this week. So when I'm doing the intervals, I want to make sure that my target heart rate is up there. And so what I like about it is that it's actually accurate. So it's telling me that when I'm doing my intervals that I'm between, I've been between 160 and 170. So my heart rate is up and elevated on the parts where during the intervals you're going really, really hard. So I'm excited because I feel like I'm doing better at targeting, because I think before, when I didn't have my Fitbit, I just, you know, I was having a harder time getting into the right zone. The other thing that I really like about it is that it like basically measures my sleep patterns and monitors them. So it tells me like on the days that I feel like I've slept forever, but I don't feel like I really got good rest, I find out that I've been restless and up 9 times. Like think about it, waking up 9 times when you've only been asleep for 6 hours, that's a bad thing. So yeah, so far I really love this. I'm so glad that I decided to go with the Charge HR because the web interface is really easy to work with. The only thing I don't like about it so far is I don't like how it gives you like your week's worth of like calories and your week's worth of steps and stuff, because I just want to see like a daily basis, like how many calories I've eaten, how many calories I've spent from working out. It's, to me, way more confusing to do like this a whole week crap. I don't like it. The next rant is a Game of Thrones spoiler. If you watch the show, do not listen to this next part. Do not watch it. I will put a note in the video below to tell you at what point it's safe to go back. But this is a spoiler, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But this is only if you watch the show. If you read the books, it's not a spoiler. So when I watched the episode of Game of Thrones this week, I got so upset. I absolutely hated it. Sansa has been pretty much fucked over the entire series, and for her to end up getting raped by her husband just was horrible. I did not need to see that. I did not want to see that. I felt like, I know it wasn't in the book, or at least it hasn't been in any of the books that I've read, and I'm pretty certain that I've read all of the books that are out currently. So I was just like, why did they add this in? This has no business being in there. Yeah, it's fucking awful. So I'm sitting here hoping that Dany will take her dragons and roast the Boltons alive because they deserve it. I hope she will rescue Sansa, or somebody will, because I don't think Sansa's going to rescue herself, and maybe Brienne of Tarth will rescue her, but she needs to get the fuck out of that situation, and it's horrible, and yeah, just, ugh, awful, hate, hate, hate. Do not like that they did that. Okay, done. Next is a rave. I've bought a ton of makeup recently. I bought a bunch of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow singles so that I can review the eyeshadow singles for you. I also purchased a couple of the Anastasia matte liquid lipsticks so I can compare and review those. I purchased more Jeffree Star, so I now have every color that he's made, I think, except for 714, which is out of stock. So I will be getting a review up on all the other colors that I have that I haven't reviewed yet. On that note, he has a color coming out that I think is called Abused, and I'm not sure that I'm going to purchase that because I just don't like the name. That really bugs me. I also have some new Phyrra eyeshadows coming. I just got the shipping notice for that, and I'm very excited about it. I picked up some new Life's Entropy. These are highlighters that are supposed to be similar to the Becca highlighters, so I'll check those out. I have some Notoriously Morbid coming. Yeah, I've got a ton of crap. I need to get through it all. So anyway, I have a ton of cool stuff coming up for you, plus a bunch of eyeshadow palettes that I purchased that I really need to get through. My 7-year blog anniversary is still going on, so if you haven't yet entered, you should go enter to win a bunch of cool Urban Decay stuff. Other than that, I think that's all I have. I just wanted to rant and rave at you a little bit, and anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!